I feel like the entire series has just been leading up to this. Let's go. It's time for a new look. Neon mint and black. Like a mint chocolate chip cookie. Let's build. I am working on the blueprinter for our constructors, and I am going to be working with a similar setup that we did for the smelters. I'm going to do 40 per block. This is our final design for now. It is a self-contained 40 constructor feeder. Let me take you over to where these are going to live. Actually, before I do that, I thought I'd show this little design here from when I saw Electric Callboy this past weekend. They have this design on their drum sets and on their set, and it looked really cool. I took a picture. It was like, I've got to use this. This will fit perfect. Here is what the stack looks like, one on top of the other. I am working up how I want to feed these all as one. Each stack will be 1200, which will cover our ultimate lines once we get there. I'm gonna feed this from up top, even with these lower lines. I think what we'll end up doing is, just because we'll have so much iron, 30,000 a minute or something like that, we're going to need just a ton of these constructors set up and running. Here's what the other side of the building looks like with all these smelters. And as you can see, we've got 4 lines, 4 lines, 4 lines, 4 lines for a total of 16. So each line is going to be pumping out 1200 ingots per minute. And right now we're capped at 780, but I will have a double stack per line, so that's 16 double stacks, meaning 32 of these stacks total that we are going to want to line up. I am probably just going to go even further vertical with it. I think that we'll have 2 that are fed by the lower lines, and then we'll have a line for like a second floor, and that is where we will feed these upper lines. But I just wanted to show you the bones before I really start filling it in. Also, this back part just looks really cool. This is how I'm going to make the stack operate. For every 40 constructors, we will have 1 line, so we actually have 80 constructors stacked right here. I've been out getting slugs so I could overclock the iron districts, and since I've been gathering slugs, I've also been gathering up Mercer spears, which allows us to unlock this last research and get the max upload speed. That plus all of our spears can now go into making these thingies, dimensional depot uploaders. I've started work on closing off the first building we're going to be doing, which is our iron rods and our plates. But you can kind of see the direction I've been going here so far. All the machinery inside is working fine. The only issue I'm running into right now is I think one of my lines is not running at full capacity like I'm expecting it to, so I'm not sure if there is a hold up with the ore delivery or something else, but we'll come back to that later once we have moved further down. Then we'll go back and troubleshoot. We're gonna split our iron into 2 different buildings. The first building is gonna be plates and rods, so 2 stacks each. The next building is going to be a super high rise, and that is going to be all screws. I still need more slugs to fully overclock it, and I have just been burning tons of them. I think I went through a few hundred already just in these two buildings. So, and the amount of screws that need to be made ratio wise is basically this entire building right here, but screws instead. And that's if I overclock it with 3 slugs per constructor. So I need a ton more. I've only got 75 right now. We'll be running out and gathering more, even though I've actually done a ton of that off camera already for this episode. I think what I need to do before I go back out there is craft up some ammo for my rifle and use that to wipe out some stuff at range. Otherwise, I've just been kind of swooping in, grabbing it, and trying to dip out before the enemies see me. But the first building has come along pretty well. We're still going to need to do all of our decorating and enclosing, but I just wanted to show you that we are going to be splitting these up into 2 different buildings. I think what we'll probably end up doing is having an output depot somewhere within this square of highway, and we will use that to move out all of the items that we are crafting up. Okay, I've got my towers out where I want them to be. We're gonna have a large tower right here that is 2 full-on stacks, and then we will also have 2 smaller towers that are going to feed into each other, and we will consolidate the outputs for that as much as we can. I don't plan on matching up any of these towers. They're all going to have their own distinctive look, even though they're going to be producing the same thing inside. I just think it fits in with that cyberpunk look a bit more. Because the way I'm starting to see it is, yeah, we can continue building up here, but we've got a lot of stuff down that way, and we've just got an entire map to uncover. So it's giving me some idea of, do we spread things out further and not try and build right on top of myself? But I am also worried about my frame rate, because I used to run this game no problem 200 FPS on ultra wide 2K. And when I'm flying around here, I am anywhere between 80 and 120. You can kind of see the scale that we keep building at and keep growing is, you know, we started just a little down here, then we got bigger with the last episode, and now this one is huge, and now this one I think might end up making this looks small. It took a minute, but looks like we've got all of our iron lines now spoken for. We have 2 over here that are doing plates. We have 2 over here that are doing rods. And then these giant towers are all doing screws. We'll end up enclosing these off. I have to figure out the best way still to disperse out the materials, but we're gonna just treat these as kind of like individual skyscrapers, and we'll also throw in a little network of tubing to make it getting around a little bit faster, but we'll close these off. We'll have a few main points where screws and other materials will come out of. I've continued my work on the screw towers, and it's almost hard to show the scale while also giving that detail. You can kind of see we have glass walls on this side along with the elevator, and then we're going back to our traditional cyberpunk look. We are also setting up little stations inside the towers that will have crafting and ticket stations for whenever we might need to grab something on the fly. This tower is going to be just massive since it's 2 towers in one, but I am finding that they are taking a good while to decorate. Thought this would be a good opportunity to show you the 3 different levels of I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you the 3 different levels of completion that I am usually in. The first is the completed status. This is this first screw tower. We've got our decorations and we've got it closed off. The next stage is the building is built but not decorated, and is also filled with all the functioning constructors. And then finally we have a building that has not seen the walls go up yet at all, just the functional piece of the constructors, and then I guess some of the wall. But those are the 3 stages that I am in. And let's see if we can't get these other 2 towers looking like this one. Let's see if we can't get the other 2 towers looking like the completed one. This update's looking pretty good here. We've got the buildings pretty much decorated out here, and we've got them enclosed off from most angles. We're going to end up leaving this building that I am standing on open back here for now. It's just going to make it easier to maneuver the materials, but I've already got the screws closed off in all their towers. That one doesn't have the roof on it yet, but it will once we are completed with the build. Otherwise, it's coming along quite nicely here. I just need to finish up that detailing, and as you can also see here, we have leveled out most of this area. I will have a spot that trucks will come through and pick up, but I am also planning on making a rail station that will come across the top here and be able to pick up any materials that we might need. This is the view from up on top of the skyscrapers. As you can see any further and we really start activating the fog. But there's something I've wanted to do since I built this, and I spent 10 tickets on unlocking this little factory cart. And I feel like the entire series has just been leading up to this. Let's go. Whoa. And there you have it. That's how we do tricks in this world. I don't even have a name for it. It's just logistics land. That's stupid, but this little cart is very cute and kind of fun to scoot around in. Anyway. And it has a spot for one item. Very cute. If you were to look at the scoreboard, it would look like we're not doing too great right now. We're still working on replace iron lines, which is where we were the first time. I just went way larger on the scale than I had anticipated, but I am very pleased with the outcome. It's really starting to look like a city. So we will continue the high-rise buildings. We're going to build connectors for all of this. It's really starting to come together, and a lot of the groundwork that we've done in the earlier episodes are really starting to pay off as we move forward, and allows us to build some of this more cooler and aesthetically pleasing designs. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every view that makes its way on here. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, but I am going to continue on, and we will build out the future of the iron lines, the next levels for the we'll build out the level 2 and 3 iron lines, and we will also build up a way to get those materials out and where we need them. So lots of cool things to build and put together, and it's almost like we are just getting going. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.